I've been waiting 30 years to do that. And if you were alive when that movie first came out, if you totally rocked a pair of parachute pants or Jordache jeans matched with that bright neon sweatshirt with the big numbers and letters on them, and I mean first edition, not going and find it, dare I say, in a vintage thrift store. Or what if you grew up with Aquanet hairspray long before we realized it was killing the planet? Our bad. And long before we knew or wanted an Apple Watch, we all wanted and collected Swatch watches. Man, I love those things. And what about suffering through the short but oh too long season of torture? Yes, I'm talking about jelly shoes. What were they thinking? I mean, if you wore those outside during the summer, your feet basically look like you were a steak on the grill with the little X marks, you know? What are those called? I don't know. Torture is what I like to call that. And if you know who Phil Collins is, not necessarily his famous actress daughter, Lily Collins, or if you ever made a mixtape on an actual cassette tape, or if you've even seen a cassette tape at this point, I think. Or if you, I think, woke up early to watch Princess Diana marry Prince Charles get married on your huge, big 500-pound television that was basically a wooden piece of furniture that took up, well, basically the whole back wall. And we only had 3 channels back then. I know. Imagine. We had ABC, NBC, and CBS. Fox, they weren't around yet. And of course, they only had those 3 channels on a good day. And by good day, I mean we either had aluminum foil on the rabbit ears or we had one of us kids holding it, said rabbit ears, while we watched television. And get ready for this, 20-somethings. You think you have it rough. We had the worst remote control ever. Yes, because our remote control was the kids. It was us. Anytime we wanted to change a channel or we had a parent tell us to get up and change the channel, we literally had to stop whatever we were doing, get up, and go across the room. Or sometimes we're in another room and we get called to go change that channel. And in order to change that channel, we needed one thing and one thing alone. Pliers. We needed pliers because without a doubt, there was always that stupid television knob that would fall off and you couldn't change the channel without some pliers. Oh, the good old days. I'm sorry. Did I just cause some PTSD for some of y'all? Sorry about that. And lastly, long before MTV was around, we had this little thing called Friday night videos that we all longed to watch as a teenager. Anyone remember that? Or maybe you snuck out of your room late at night on the weekends and turned on a little Dr. Ruth, who was way before her time. Man, frankly, she still would be before her time had she not just recently passed away. I mean, I'm guessing. That's what I heard. I mean, I've never actually watched the show myself, but that's what I heard from all my heathen friends who watched it growing up. We had to learn somewhere, right? Let me just throw in one last, if you were, a little pet peeve that comes to mind. If you were in school when you used the correct term, word, because it was the only one that was a legitimately accepted word, that word being anyway, not anyways, then you are in the right place because you're my people. Where are my 50s and over crowd? I mean, don't get me wrong. I welcome all adult aged viewers to this podcast, to the channel, and even our website. But there's a whole lot of videos recently out there basically focused on the 40s and up, which is great. I haven't seen a 50s and up video yet. So I figured I would be proud to represent and encourage the older generation. I mean, we are becoming more and more invisible as each day passes, aren't we? You're not sure? Let me give you a little example. Something that shook me to my core when I realized it. Something I had seen multiple times a week for basically my entire life. And it almost left me speechless when it dawned on me what I finally just realized. I mean, I said almost speechless. Nobody and nothing can make that happen. Trust me, they've all tried. But if we can just venture back a little bit, let me tell you a little story of how this all went down. Lovely. So there I was, minding my own business. I'm filling out a questionnaire for something, when I stumbled onto something that, like I said, stopped me in my tracks. I looked over, and to my dismay, I noticed that the age range questionnaire, the age range question, was ageist. Now, let me explain. Hold on. Basically, everyone knows, you've seen all these these questionnaires, and I'll throw some up of the age bracket portion. You got a little circle or a little box. You check. That's the most appropriate for your age. And most of them are like maybe 5 or 9 years for each section. Like 18 to 24, 25 to 34, 35 to 44, 45 to 54, which is where I land. I am 54 this year, which means in 6 months, I will be 55, which is why this happened, which is why I even noticed. Because at 55 years old, what I noticed was there's a lot of different options over there between those 18 to 54. But 55 and up, at 55, on this certain questionnaire, once I checked that box of 55, there was only one more box left. One more box left in my life. And some questionnaires, 55 and up, you're just bundled together like a Netflix series or something. It really did have much more impact on me than I initially anticipated. I mean, I made fun of it, and I was a little extra explaining it to my family when I was visiting them, which is where I was when I discovered this. But it really sat with me for weeks that at 54, I suddenly realized I've only got, in 6 months, I've only got maybe one more bracket. I mean, sure, many people live past 100, so, that bracket could be 40 years or more, which goes back to my point of why put us all in one bracket for that many years, especially when we are, I believe there's more of us 50 and older than any other bracket at this point. And of course, everybody knows 45 and up has got the most money. But, y'all don't really actually care what we want, especially a woman over 50, Lord forbid. But it did get me thinking, and what I couldn't leave it alone. I got to thinking about what I've done in my life, and really more importantly, what I have not done in my life. What have I been too scared to do that I've wanted to do for most of my life? What have I dared not to do? And that, my friends, is how I got here today. I'm finally making a lifelong dream come true because as I was a teenager, my big dream was to be a radio DJ. Remember them? No, I don't mean Howard Stern DJ, although I wouldn't mind his money. I mean a real DJ back in the day. It was just a dream I had. It was just something that I guess someone who talks as much as me and has as many opinions as I do, and literally every single report card I've ever received, along with every personal performance review, in some way or another, had alluded to the fact that I talk a lot and I am way too wordy in speech and in writing. And you know what that means? You know what's good for me? A podcast. I mean, hello. But I was afraid. I let fear keep me down. And I am a rather confident person. But people can be very cruel on social media. And I'll be the first to admit that I haven't been on social media for about a decade, really. Not for comments made to me, but for the personal anxiety that I would get just reading or hearing about others being put down, being bullied, and causing unnecessary and uncalled for pain with words. I've always been someone who stuck up for the people being bullied. I have always been that person. I've always rooted for the underdog. I have physically got in the middle of things, fights as a teenager when somebody was going to be bullying somebody. I feel very strongly about that. But as I got older, I got fatter, I got more wrinkles. I became a recluse for a whole other reason we'll get into at some point in another video. I just became a shell of myself and forgot to live. Sorry. But seeing that bracket that I have after this year, next year, I've got 1, maybe 2 brackets left. And I won't let bullies or the fear of a bully hold me back from doing something I have wanted to do for so long. Life is short and it's fragile. And we only get one. And I've let so many years go by with excuses and fear. I didn't realize it was fear until recently. But as I have prepared to do this, I do worry. How would I handle the bullies or the rude comments? I mean, someone going to tell me I'm fat? Oopsie. I didn't see that. Someone going to tell me I'm old and I've got wrinkles? Oh no. Words. I am well versed on me. A little more than I care to be, frankly. So there'll be random bullies, I'm sure. But what I know is that there are many more kind and supportive people out there just looking for more kind and supportive people. And I'd like to think that I'm one of those on both sides. I really want to invite each of you, if you're still around at this point, I'd love to get a community started going, and I'd love to have people visit the podcast and our channel and the website, banterandbreakdowns.com. And I want to create a community on there, and we can have each other's backs. We can be a place where we have our own chats without the fear of being judged. I want to have a very successful show. It does mean a lot to me. This is a big dream of mine coming true. I hope it's successful, and I hope that you will be part of that success. I would love to be someone to have you attend the podcasts, get involved in the community, support each other. Let's talk about whatever we want to talk about, frankly. I'd love to have shows where y'all call in. I mean, I do have a lot of opinions, and I'm never afraid to share them. Just ask anyone who's ever met me. I don't want to freak anybody out. But wait, I'm focused on the 50s and up, right? Y'all don't back down, do you? You don't get a little scared of somebody talking about their emotions and regrets and mistakes and wanting to live and realizing you're a bracket or two away from the end? Y'all can handle that, right? Yeah, I know you could. Love to get some feedback. I mean, it'd be great if it was nice. No need in calling the bullies to bully me. Just know I can bully right back with the best of them. So if you're coming for me, be prepared. I don't back down from a bully. They don't scare me. And yeah, bully, if you want to talk about this tooth of mine, there's still an issue that started happening because my petite, which is funny to say because I got a lot of volume coming out of this petite mouth of mine. But lately, look what happened. My mouth, my teeth are moving. And now I got this tooth that sticks out. Yeah, go ahead, bully it. Just like they did for Jen on the Karen Reed trial. And if you don't know who that is, buckle up, people, because I'll be covering it in mistrial in January. It's a doozy. So yeah, I hope everybody will join me in helping each other and giving each other grace and a platform to just talk about whatever we want to talk about and giving each other a helping hand and just an ear or a shoulder from time to time. And with that, I thank everybody. I welcome you. I encourage you to also take a leap of faith in living your dreams too. Because if you're one of those people who've let fear hold you back or time just kind of slipped away and you look over and you've got 1 or 2 more age brackets to go, never too late to go from I wish I would have to I just did. It can change your life. And regardless of what those ageist questionnaires say, we still have plenty of it to live, hopefully. And with that, I bid you adieu. Bye-bye.
Two voices loud and clear, stories ring in every ear, banter breaking down the night, true crime stories take flight, opinions bold like the sun, reality games just begun, vibrant minds with tales to tell, diving deep, let's break the spell, banter and breakdowns, here we go, stories fast and stories slow, outspoken voices make their mark, in the day and in the dark. Laughter mixed with fear and fun, personal truths come undone, every tale a twist and turn, listen close, there's much to learn, two women strong with hearts so bright, sharing thoughts and shades of light.